Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Game Junk Podcast, episode 248, recording on Sunday, September 28th, 2025. My name is Frank.
My name is Sean.
And my name is Andrew.
And on this week's show, we'll be talking about the state of play from last week, including the reveal of Wolverine gameplay footage and Saros gameplay footage. Might talk a bit about the Xbox Tokyo Game Show announcements quickly. I don't think we're going to do a full breakdown, and get into a bit of what we played. How you guys doing?
I'm getting sick. These back to school kids have caught up with me. So I got sick last weekend, got sick this weekend. So it's a great trend.
Sean, if you're looking at youtube.com/gamejunk, you can see Sean he's like the bottom half of his his face is red and the top half is white. Sean, what happened?
I was at the Bills game, believe it or not.
I do believe it.
That's not what people expect from me. They expect it from Frank. But yeah, my first real Bills game, I guess, did the whole tailgating thing. And it was very sunny for, end of September. It was just, the sun was just beating us down.
I got a sunburn at a game in January once, dude. You never know.
Really?
Got to get that SPF on, bro. Okay, let's get into the state of play for September 24th, 2025. The first game that let it all off was Saros. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know for sure. But that is the follow-up to Returnal from Housemarque Studios. And based on, we'd seen a cinematic trailer for this before and knew that it was kind of a spiritual successor to Returnal, not necessarily in what capacity. Based on what we saw here, it looks like it's very similar. And the direct comparison I would make immediately is it feels like what Silksong is to Hollow Knight is what Saros will be to Returnal, where a framework that's very similar, some core mechanics that are very similar, and then switching combat and weapons and other things you get along the way in a new world, in a new area, and just kind of reframing that experience while trying to keep it fresh would be my guess. I have some more thoughts. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, like it definitely looks similar. Not that I've played Returnal, but it is interesting. Just the choice to not make it Returnal 2 when it does seem pretty similar. Like I don't know. I guess I'm not too sure story wise and all that kind of stuff what they're doing with it, but.
Well, I mean, I think while you're talking about that, the tagline for the movie and for the game, pardon me, not movie, that was mentioned a few times during the 4 minutes is the idea of come back stronger, which I think the not doing Returnal 2 could be part of a conscious effort to like rebrand and any negative associations with Returnal, that it's too hard or you couldn't save it and it just didn't land the way people thought it would when it launched. It's a way of kind of starting from scratch, but not completely, to the point where people who eventually or did love Returnal, which is me, would still be excited for this game just based on that. And then it might potentially attract new audiences because it's not Returnal 2. And maybe my guess is they're doing the opposite of Silksong, which is, I think, trying to make it a little more accessible and easier for people to play and not be as punishing, is my guess. That seems to be the subtle theme of the entire presentation.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, they the thing that I remember from it, they kind of showed off this shield mechanic, which is there nothing like that in Returnal, or is that just like a thing you can pick up on a run potentially?
I don't remember there being a shield in that way. There was like temporary stuff and you could dash through things, but I don't remember like an absorbing shield. I could be wrong, but I believe there's a similar mechanic in a previous Housemarque game. I'm not sure which one. I think was it Nex Machina one that they made. I feel like I felt like that influenced this taking influences of that game into Returnal birthed Soros to some degree, and I'm very excited. Huck, what did you think?
Well, the first thing I thought was definitely looks like Returnal, especially like the bullet hell aspects of the game look almost identical from what I remember. But in terms of the overall trailer, this was probably one of the best trailers I've ever seen, cut wise and like information delivery wise. You know, we love the developer kind of like talk over, but sometimes it's too much. And what I loved about this was they would, you know, talk for just maybe 10 seconds and then they would just let you watch the footage. And they were also very liberal with their cuts, camera cuts. So you never like were walking down this boring hallway to get to the next interesting spot. They would just kind of fade to black, fade back in, and you'd be at another interesting area. They showed like a little bit of story. They did this. They did the same like developer talk with the shield, and I think with one other aspect that I can't remember right now. They did it for the story, and then I think one other thing.
Yeah, I can't remember what they're called. It's like the super weapons where if you absorb enough
Yes.
damage, you can unleash powerful attacks based on what you absorb with the shield.
Right. So I think like just that format was amazing and probably a format like people should take going forward. I mean, they started off, we always complain when like people put out trailers and they don't put the name of the game until the end. Like here they were like, this is Soros. And at the end they repeated the name. Like it was very obvious what this game was. So while you're watching it, I just felt like I could sit now, know what this game is called, absorb what the gameplay is, understand what I'm looking at, because sometimes it's just like super flashing. Who knows what the hell's going on? This was much more like, here's this portion of the game. And I don't know, I really enjoyed the trailer, probably more than I'll like the game. But like I thought this is what people should do for trailers like going forward. I think it's really smart and actually like explains stuff about the game in a good way without, you know, hand holding the whole time and not using the stupid, you know, multiplayer dubbed over people trying to sound like they're having fun crap that people do. So yeah,
I mean, to be fair, it is a gameplay trailer. Sometimes, yes, you know, if it's an announce or reveal trailer, there's usually a little more mystery there. But
yeah.
I hear you.
I agree. Yeah, but I mean, it was. I think it was good. I think the gameplay looks pretty similar to Returnal. I mean, if I could get into Returnal, I played a little bit of Returnal. I liked it, but couldn't get into it. I'll probably give this game a try though. It looks very interesting and it looks very polished, considering it's like, you know, half a year out.
Yeah, it's releasing March 20th, 2026. So coming relatively soon. Mm-hmm. Lots of stuff in February and March. And I will say, I love the atmosphere of Returnal. I think no matter who plays it, whether it's too hard or just not for them, I haven't met a person who played that game that didn't say it. The atmosphere and mood was exceptional, and it felt next gen. It was one of the first of the current gen next gen games that came out that was only on PS5. It felt like a next gen game. So I think it still looks great. I wasn't as thrilled with the Sun World or whatever it is to start, but there was kind of a smash cut like montage at the end where it showed a lot of variety in environment, and I think there's I already more than what was in Returnal, and it's interesting because Returnal has like 6 biomes, but each one is like a mirror of a previous one in terms of the room structure, and maybe it adds some new stuff. So as a hardcore fan of that game, I am curious to see what they change and if they do make it more accessible. But either way, hands down, my most anticipated game of 2026. Any other thoughts on that one?
No.
Well, just the title, like, you know, again, the idea of like, it could have been Returnal 2 or something like that, but like, I don't think the title is great. Like, it doesn't mean much. Maybe it will be something that just, you know, once you play the game, you'll get it and it makes sense. But
I agree. Definitely doesn't roll off the tongue either. Like even at the beginning, like Frank, I think I'm saying it correct. Like when you have to say, I think I'm saying it correct, you know, you could you're playing with a little bit of fire there with your naming.
Well, I mean, the reason I said that is because when the developer said it in the or the state of play, it sounded like they intonated on a vowel differently than I would, and I was like, how do I say it? I couldn't even remember how I say it, so I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal. I think that this game will have an uphill battle, just based on Returnal and preconceptions of that game. But I mean, I just hope it breaks through because Returnal is severely underplayed and underappreciated, and I had to force feed the shit out of it. It took me 4 attempts to finally love it, so I get it. Next up, Zero Parades for Dead Spies. Whenever I see this title, I want to call it Zero Parades. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I see
too.
that word and it doesn't read as parades to me. It's very strange. But this is clearly a spiritual successor in a similar way to Saros and Returnal to Disco Elysium. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big Disco Elysium person. Anyone have any thoughts on this game?
I mean, to me, like I got into Disco Elysium, but I didn't beat it. It's a very long game. And this game to me looks almost identical. Like nothing here is standing out as special or different from Disco Elysium from what I could tell. You know, they show like the same sort of dice roll stuff, the same sort of like investigating environments. I imagine they were, I guess, were leaning into more of the like you investigate things in a weird way. Like they showed where she was like sticking her hand up a hog's ass or something like that at one point, right. And like got dragged away. So I mean that is like kind of odd. But I mean Disco Elysium had a lot of odd stuff too, where you know you could like drink yourself to death and stuff like that. So I don't know. I feel like that's just their style. So right now
I looked it up on Steam. This is the same developer. I can't remember. Like
it is
UAVA or something. Is that?
A/UM
Zaum or whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was at one point, wasn't there like a huge falling out of people in the company?
Yes.
I don't know who's actually on this game that worked on Disco Elysium, but I guess I kind of disagree with Huck in the sense that I agree in the sense that the core mechanics look almost identical, like the dice rolling and statistical driven nature of everything. But I thought it had an interesting new art style, not completely divergent, but had some flair and artistic direction that was a little different than the original. And I'm personally a little more interested in this world than the Disco Elysium world. I'm not into like the detective noir stuff. This, I think, is a little more cyberpunky, but I don't even know for sure. But I mean, I don't really care though. It comes out in 2026. Sean, did you get into Disco Elysium? It feels like it should be a game you love, Mr. Noir, dude.
Yeah, I kind of bounced off of it. I was excited when it came to PS5 or when they did the re-release of it. And yeah, I still feel like I need to give it another chance, but I'm interested in this one too. It is weird because I feel like there's 3 games that have all been called like maybe not Disco Elysium spiritual successors, but at least, from the makers of Disco Elysium or something like that.
Because I was going to say that I'm surprised there haven't been more clones of Disco Elysium with the dice rolling and stats and just different themes. Kind of like we're seeing tons of Golden Idol type of games. The only one I can think of, and it's pretty different in terms of its gameplay loop, is Citizen Sleeper, and I'm assuming Citizen Sleeper 2, which I haven't played. But that, to me, that consolidated the mechanics in a much more fun, digestible way. Obviously, less about writing and narrative, which appeals to me more so than probably people, for the reasons people love Disco Elysium. But I think they're actually going to be okay, as it took so long to make this game that I thought, there'll be tons of Disco Elysium ripoffs or other but there's nothing. The people who love this type of game are probably clamoring for this, and I think it'll probably do pretty well.
Yeah.
but not for me. Next up, quickly, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 coming to PlayStation December 8th of this year. Wouldn't even mention it, except in the final title card, it mentioned PSVR 2 support in development. Sean, did you catch that?
I did, yeah. Kind of intriguing. There was something else that was announced with Flight Simulator. Maybe it wasn't here. Maybe it was at the Microsoft showcase.
Yeah, Microsoft showed like Japanese content of like locations.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was, right? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Could be cool, but I'm not.
Have you tried VR on PC for that game or?
No, definitely not. But I mean, it's one of those games that like I feel like I tried it when it first launched on Xbox, and it was kind of, I don't know, performance wise.
Like I didn't know what my goals were when I played that game.
So it would be interesting to check back in with it maybe, and VR might be the thing that gets me to do it. But yeah.
Huck, anything for that one? No. Okay,
No.
Next up, Battlefield 6, releasing October 10th. This was the first footage of the campaign we saw, which is, I think, kind of a big deal. People are excited for it. And I thought it looked pretty good. Huck, what did you think?
Yeah, I kind of actually like blanked out a bit while this was going on. I mean, it looked good. I kind of got distracted. I don't know if it was just my feed or whatever, but the like lip syncing seemed weird to me. I don't think it was like anything too crazy, but I remember seeing some tanks. I actually have no real memory of this one. I thought it looked good. That's okay. I thought it looked really good, but I don't really have any like crazy thoughts on it. I'm interested. It seems like it's like people are very interested in this game, so I'll definitely give it a try.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a Call of Duty campaign, which is probably what people want it to be. I'd be interested to see how it incorporates from the limited Battlefield campaigns I've played in the past, the current hook to that game, to me, is destructible environments and like blowing up buildings and walls. And I'm curious to see how that gets incorporated into the campaign because, everything in that engine is destructible for the most part, from what I know. So, like, how do they account for that in terms of sandbox design or player agency for how they approach missions? I got the sense of what the footage I saw that it's leaning more into a linear, straightforward campaign, but it's tough to say from that. But that's the one thing on my mind with that game. Like, is it a linear blockbuster campaign or kind of open-ended sandboxy with objectives?
Yeah. I mean, it's even just kind of jumping through the trailer now. It looks nice, but like I didn't get much out of it in terms of like what's the story, what's the hook. Like I'm not sure what's special about this, other than people are excited for Battlefield and they haven't done a campaign in a while. But
next announcement was a Deus Ex Remastered coming February 5th, 2026. I have no reverence for this, really. You guys have anything?
No, I never played the original. I've tried to play the original. I bought it on Steam and Deus Ex 2, and I've never really gotten into it. So maybe the remaster would help me do that, but I don't know. I feel like I should try to like force feed the original, if anything.
yeah, kind of the same. Like I've dabbled in all of the Deus Ex games. This normally would be something I would be into and be like, okay, maybe I'll actually go back and play this. But I didn't think it looked that great. And the weird thing is there's like a fan-made mod already that updates the original Deus Ex called like Revision or something like that, which I mean, I haven't seen side-by-side comparisons. And I would assume this might be higher quality, but like, I don't know, it didn't seem that big of a difference from what I remember of Revision. And it's just one of those things where it's like, it's not a complete remake. It's just kind of like updating the models and stuff. And even the models didn't look that great to me. So.
Yeah, it was a strange remaster. And they kept cutting between footage to the point where, and another trailer did this too, where I was like, I don't know if is it like, can you switch between both modes? I don't think so. I think it's just a remastered thing, and they're showing what it used to look like, and
Yeah, I
not a
think
great
so.
strategy when it doesn't even look that much better for a PS5 game. I was also underwhelmed, but not something I would care that much about anyway. Footage from Halloween, the game, which I'm assuming is coming up for Halloween this year, and I I am not a big asymmetrical horror person. Looks like every other one of these games, but with Halloween being the theme. And I guess I thought the figure teleporting power looked kind of interesting. I don't know how that's handled in these types of games, but I don't know. Anyone else have thoughts?
Well, so I just on the PlayStation blog here, it does say there's a standalone single player story, which has me intrigued. I didn't really get that from the trailer.
I thought
Yeah,
there
no,
was the way they said it, and then I saw the footage they showed. Like it doesn't feel. I must be misinterpreting what they just said, but maybe not.
Yeah, so I mean that has me kind of interested, to be honest. But yeah, I mean the asymmetrical, like we tried Texas Chainsaw a while back, and it was fun for like an hour, and then we all kind of lost interest. So I don't know. I know some people love this stuff, but it's weird because isn't Michael Myers already in Dead
Dead
by
by Daylight.
Daylight?
I'm pretty sure. I don't know for absolute certain.
Yeah.
Next up was Last Epoch, which is Diablo-like to some degree. That I'm surprised I must have heard of at some point. It's been on PC for almost 2 years, and it's coming to PlayStation. Anyone know anything about this game or have any thoughts?
No, I've never heard anything about it. But it looks like this was just an announcement of the port, right? Basically to PS5. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think
And the
an
expansion pack.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, it looked, like you said, looked like a Diablo-like or like a Torchlight kind of spin-off Diablo game. So I don't know. I'm not very interested in it, but it looked fine from my perspective.
Maybe in my head I had confused or amalgamated this game and what's the
Path of Exile.
Path of Exile 2. But I mean, this
Yeah,
one has pretty high reviews on Steam. I'm surprised I don't know more about it, to be honest.
it was kind of on my radar. I feel like it came out last year on Steam. Maybe it was the year before.
It's tough because it says February 21st, 2024, but I don't know if that was an early access date or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious. I would be interested in giving it a shot at some point, but I don't think it's free to play, which,
No.
that's Path of Exile has that going for it, eventually anyway.
Yeah, similarly, the next game, The Seven Deadly Sins Origins. This is where a lot of these games I get vibes like, is this a free to play mobile game that is also coming to PlayStation? And I looked this game up, and I don't think it is. There's nothing that says MMO or
Free to play open world RPG.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Oh,
All right.
so-
Well, that's what it looks like. So
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like a Genshin Impact clone, basically.
yeah. So it is probably unfair of me to disregard these games so quickly. I mean, I've played a few hours here and there, stuff like Zenless Zone Zero, because there was PlayStation rewards associated with it and other stuff, like just because I was curious. None of them have ever hooked me. I kind of want to be hooked by one of these games, but I don't think this is the one.
Yeah, I'm curious, but I've played a little bit of Genshin Impact. I could get into it. I could see it happening, but yeah, there's just a lot of them now to choose from.
But this game is releasing in 2026, early 2026, possibly January. But nothing out there on it yet. It doesn't exist currently. So I don't know if it was even announced. It must have been before. Sonic Racing's Crossworlds, they were kind of saying you could play it now if you have the deluxe edition, which is out, and announcing Mega Man DLC, which, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence about buying this game. I'm hearing good things. Did anyone buy it or pre-order it?
No, there's a demo. I did download it, but I haven't tried it yet. But yeah, the Mega Man thing, if that was in the game and not DLC, that would kind of be a little push to check it out for sure.
I mean, the music sounded great. It gets me excited for other crossovers and stuff that they could incorporate into the game. I will say I was probably not going to buy this game, and seeing this, I'm like, if it goes on sale before the end of the year, I might pop on it. I'm getting curious. Next up, another one for me, Neo 3 getting a release date, February 3rd, 2026. I am a lover of the Neo series. It got me into the Souls-like genre, and I've platinumed the first 2 games, haven't done DLC for both. I gotta say, I thought this was a really bad trailer. It was like
agreed,
cutting between timelines. I
had no idea what was going on.
I don't know who the main character is. I don't know what's going on. The combat actually looked kind of muddled, and the color palette like blended together. Yes. I was super disappointed with
It's interesting. I was going to ask you the same thing, because I literally had no idea what was going on in this trailer, and I thought maybe because you played the first 2 so much you would have some context, but like I had absolutely no clue what was going on. I couldn't even really tell what was combat and what was just like CG flash. Like everything was just so quick. I was like, I have no idea what's going on here. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the game and of the series, I should say, and it just felt like I might be out on this one. I'm like, will I platinum this one? I mean, there's still hope, but I mean, the hook for this game is the bosses, and I just wasn't seeing mind-blowing bosses, and they were on screen for such a small amount of time, and not distinct from their environments. Like everything blended together. I was in shock as to how bad this trailer was.
I mean, it is a launch date announcement trailer, so it feels like maybe it was just thrown together for that reason, because they were announcing the release date. But
in the past, they've teased that this one's very different because it's open world, or the levels are much more open design with platforming, which is not a feature of this series. And I don't think it showed any of that. I'm getting major bad vibes. Like this is a 6 out of 10.
It's just a lot of quick cuts and close-ups of characters. It's really tough to tell if there's even any gameplay at all in this trailer.
So also part of the Koei Tecmo. Did I say that right?
I think it was pretty close.
Tecmo?
Did I say Temco or Tecmo? I think I was channeling how I mispronounced it when I was 10 years old, when I would get Temco Super Bowl. The Dynasty Warriors 3 Complete Edition Remastered coming March 19th. I assume this is like the most beloved of the series, if they're making this big of a deal out of it, but didn't mean much to me.
Same.
Yeah, no comment.
Code Vein 2, releasing January 30th. I've not played Code Vein. I'm curious, as it's a third-person action game. But this trailer also didn't do much for me. I was watching at like a faster speed, and it still felt really slow, like a super slow-paced game, like waiting for a weapon to transform before you do an attack. I mean, there's potential, but has anyone played Code Vein or know anything about it?
I played it. I played it for maybe an hour or 2, and it was not that enjoyable. It's like a very, like last week, I think we were talking about the Dragon Warrior games, how they're just like so long. Dragon Quest, like they're just so long and so drawn out, and I felt the same thing about Code Vein. And I don't recall the combat being that fun to play.
Oh, and I'm wrong. It's more of a role-playing game with combat. It's like an action RPG. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably, out on the Code Vein. I don't know if I'll ever make it there.
I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to spend your time there. Yeah.
Although it's the first one's on sale for $7.99. Right?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Librarian, if you're going to do it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, next up, Final Fantasy Tactics. Just an update on this. I don't think we need to talk about it. It's been in a million things lately.
A lot of hype for this, though.
Yeah.
I keep seeing it mentioned everywhere. Like some people seem to really love.
Oh, that game is beloved.
Yeah.
Let It Die Inferno. This and Xbox had like some surprise Suda Grasshopper type stuff going on in it, and I was like, I remember trying Let It Die when it came out, and I wasn't impressed, and I'm surprised that it's getting a sequel.
Yeah, same. I don't know. This game looked from what I remember this game looked like what I remember the first game looking like or playing like at least.
This one has like a much more in your face color palette. I don't remember the first game
Yeah,
being like
that's true.
all neon and stuff like that, but I don't know. Apparently there's an audience, maybe more so in Japan. Maybe that was part of the Tokyo Game Show theme, which it was in all the shows, I would say, like leaning into Japanese developers and those types of things. Next up, this one feels like a Sean game, big time. Is it Chrono Script? The Endless End, coming in 2026. Seems like a Plucky Squire-ish 2D game. Sean, what do you got?
Yeah, it did catch my attention, and I see here it's from the makers or one of the contributors to it is the people who made RPG Time: The Legend of Wright. I don't know if you guys remember that
I've
game.
always wanted to play that game.
Yeah,
I did play a little bit of it, and I did like it. So, yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued. This would be, one of the games that stood out to me at the State of Play.
Yeah, it's got like an ultra detailed hand-drawn style, which it's not my favorite thing. I could see it growing on me, but I was definitely blown away by the detail and commitment to the aesthetic, but I didn't vibe with the aesthetic personally that much. I would still play a game if I didn't love the aesthetic and the gameplay was great. So
yeah,
I
was definitely
have some hope for it. Yeah. Okay.
I thought it looked cool. I thought how they're kind of moving the play space around inside of the 3D environment, and it seems to possibly impact the gameplay. I thought that could be kind of cool.
Ooh, RPG Time: The Legend of Wright is currently on sale on PlayStation Network as well for $9.75. So I might pick that up. I've always wanted to play that game. Nice. That's interesting. Coming in 2026. No exact date yet. Crimson Desert. This is fitting into I always thought this game was a free-to-play MMO, and I don't think it is. I think it's an open-world third-person action game, and you can't even tell them apart these days. But knowing it's not free-to-play, I don't think anyway. It's like pre-order. You can pre-order on Steam for full price. I'm kind of a little more excited for it. I thought it looked okay.
So this game's not out on Steam yet?
No, I thought it was too, and maybe I'm confusing it with another game. I thought.
Huh. Yeah, I totally thought it was out on other platforms like for years. Maybe I'm also confusing it. Bizarre. It looked pretty good though. I was kind of impressed and interested.
Yeah, I even just finding out. Oh, Black Desert, I think, is the game that I also maybe confuse it with.
Oh, okay, yeah,
perhaps.
That makes sense.
And maybe it's the same developers. It's an MMORPG. Okay,
people got to start coming up with some better titles for games here.
Yeah, I mean, what's this one called again? I've already forgotten.
Crimson Desert. I mean, if it's the same people,
so
then that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it says it's $90, so I doubt it's an MMO, and it doesn't have the MMO keyword on Steam, but the other game does. Okay, well, it's all starting to make more sense. I'll be waiting. Not with bated breath, but I'll be waiting to see what reviews are like and what type of game it is exactly. Another kind of odd surprise announcement: Pulse Elevate wireless speakers. New speakers coming for
pre-order them already?
No, I don't.
Come on, man. I saw this. I was like, Frank definitely pre-ordered these.
No, and I'll tell you why. And this is, I don't even know if I should talk about this. There's a website in Canada called MTC Warehouse. Okay.
Oh, boy.
MTC Factory Outlet.
Do you have to go on the dark web to get there?
No, I discovered this via Red Flag Deals, and they're a legit store, but they are kind of in charge of redistributing PlayStation refurbs, and you can get really good deals. I got a Pulse Elite wireless headset from there for dirt cheap, and it was great. You can get the PSVR for $324, consoles. So you can get the PS5 DualSense Edge for 150. I'm waiting for the black edition, but there are good deals on here. And this, I will be waiting till the refurbs of these pop up on here, and then I will get them. Unless people say they're insanely good,
it's kind of interesting. Like, I don't know who the audience is exactly, but like, they're wireless speakers. They have mics built in. So I guess the idea is that you could still chat without having to have a headset on. I don't know. Yeah, like there was something about it that I was like, oh, these could be kind of cool, but I don't know. Don't need it.
I will say with my Pulse Elite headset, and this shares the same technology as that headset, where you can do Bluetooth and game audio at the same time, which, you know, you can listen to a podcast while you play in the same headset, and it works really well. So that is an underrated feature that if you like listening to podcasts while you play, you should definitely look into it. I don't see a price for this yet, so I don't know.
Big money.
It comes with two. I'm gonna guess they're like $299 US for a pair at the bare minimum. Would be my guess, but we'll see.
Good guess.
I'm curious. Next up, Gran Turismo 7 getting a Spec 3 expansion and DLC in December. I liked Gran Turismo, wouldn't mind returning. Should try VR again, even though it made me vomit within 5 minutes last time I tried it. But we'll see what happens there. God of War getting a 20th anniversary controller, which my only takeaway here was God of War is only 20 years old. It came out in 2005, which seems crazy to me.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Which I think makes sense. I think I played it. It seems wrong. Sean, look it up.
When did God of War are we talking about?
PlayStation 2, obviously. It's got to be.
That was 2005.
Yeah. I know it was late in the life cycle because I didn't play it because I had moved on to whatever the next console was. And then eventually I dusted off my PlayStation 2 and played that game, and it blew my mind. And it actually changed the way I think about, there's a time in my life when a new console came out, it was like, anything else, you're garbage. You go in the trash. You don't get touched ever again. You have nothing of value. Anything that's made on this console cannot be worth playing. And God of War completely changed my mind on that, and it made me realize I should be playing games on consoles that haven't died yet. Lots of good stuff still comes out, so I will be celebrating the 20th anniversary of God of War with this controller. Thank you. Still want my Concord controller. I did get a PlayStation 30th anniversary controller, which are very easy to find now. But
nice.
So I've got 4 unopened controllers right now.
So that's
4 unopened DualSense.
Yeah,
4 unopened Switch 2 Pro controllers, and 1 unopened Xbox Series X controller. And about 10 of those I don't use. All right, lastly, the moment you've all been waiting for. Wolverine from Insomniac, the leaked game that was under a lot of scrutiny, finally shows its gameplay. What do we think, Huck?
Well, they mentioned this, but I was definitely a little shocked by the amount of violence they would show in this sort of state of play, to be honest. Quite violent, quite bloody. I think I was a little offended with the level of violence. Kids could be watching this. Definitely.
I felt like it could use another warning. It's worse than licking knives. It's literal blades going through faces.
Yeah.
You're going to get kids taping knives to their hands. You don't want that.
I'm no prude, but it was excessive.
Yeah. I think it is fitting to his character, and the comics are also extremely bloody. So I think if that's what they're going for, they're going to emulate the comic books, then I think it's in line with that. But it did seem like in this state of play, maybe a little extreme. But I think the game looks promising. I don't think they even showed really that much gameplay to be honest. Like, it looked like they showed gameplay moments, but I don't know if I would qualify them as gameplay. Like, it didn't look like someone had a controller with a game camera. I don't remember seeing any HUD. Now, I know that you normally pull HUD out, but like, I don't know. It seemed very staged and very put together. I am sure it was in engine and running and everything. But I think it has a lot of potential. I mean, it looks pretty impressive. I mean, these guys made Spider-Man. Spider-Man games are very fun. So if they take kind of the same core concepts as that, put a Wolverine violence overlay, I think they'll be in a pretty good spot regardless.
Yeah, speaking of the gameplay stuff, the only two things I remember, there's the alley fight, which is at a kind of a strange camera angle, so it doesn't feel that much like gameplay, but that looked awesome, and it had the moment that with the claws that everyone was talking about. And then all I really remember seeing gameplay was like sliding down a roof. So if I think the game looks great, but if I was going to kind of go at it, I'd be like, not a lot of continuous gameplay in this trailer at all. It was like 2 seconds of continuous gameplay at most, which I personally kind of take with a bit of trepidation. But the difference is I've never, to my recollection, played a bad Insomniac game. I trust them to find the fun in anything before they release it. So I'm very excited.
Fuse? Do you like Fuse?
I didn't play it, so can't really say.
Well, that's a good way to avoid it.
Yeah, the combat did look Spider-Man-ish for sure, and I got the sense that there was some like a lot of the stuff you saw was probably like their cinematic finishing moves kind of thing, which they have in the Spider-Man games. I would say my biggest question mark comparing Spider-Man to this is how do you get around, right? And they hinted at a motorcycle, and there was a couple things where they kind of showed you like climbing and like sliding on things using the claws. Maybe that's part of it, but like, I'm not sure.
I don't think it's open world. I mean, you're going to different environments all the time. I kind of hope it's more linear. I'm excited. I'll talk about a game I played this week that had me clamoring for slightly more linear experiences and how much fun they can be when they're polished. And I'm sure there'll be some version of open areas in the game, but I still have more questions than answers on this. But the one answer we have is that it's coming out this year, 2026, or the fall of 2026 specifically, which I think is exciting.
Now, did either of you look into the leaks and the actual like leaked footage and stuff? Yeah. Okay. Neither did I.
No, I
Absolutely
remember
not.
just hearing. I mean, Game Junk doesn't comment on rumor or speculation, but I don't remember it being very positive. But at the same time, like what kind of leaked beta footage prototype stuff ever looks good?
Yeah, like, could be like 2 years old.
Yeah, you didn't really know what you were looking at, and I didn't see it, so I don't trust other people to interpret that footage either. And it's I wouldn't say I was blown away, but I still think it looks really good. I'm excited. I thought actually, technically, it was, although they talked about the blood tech, I didn't see the blood tech in the footage. I mean, there was lots of blood, but I didn't see what was technically amazing about it. So I am curious to see how the blood tech is used when we get some more footage from the game.
Yeah.
You gotta love blood tech. You can't just say blood tech and not tell us more about it.
Teaser.
All right, I think that's it for the state of play. Any last thoughts before we give a letter grade?
Nope.
No.
Okay. All right, I will give it a C plus. I mean, I'm excited for Saros. I'm excited for Wolverine. Neo 3 was disappointing. Everything else was a bit of a dud.
Yes. Always tricky with these things. You know what? C plus sounds about right.
All right, I'm gonna go a little high. I'm gonna go B minus. I thought I thought Soros and Wolverine were pretty impressive, and I agree the middle was a little dud filled, but uh, definitely better than other Tokyo Game Show things I watched. That's for sure.
Okay. Now getting to the just quickly to the Xbox showcase, it led off with a game that I thought was new, like a new Gungrave game. Gungrave Gore. Oh, it is a sequel, I think. Blood Heat. I didn't know there was a Gungrave Gore. I'm just seeing it came out in 2022. But it's a sequel called Blood Heat, and that was the only thing that looked new and interesting in the entire showcase to me. I feel like I've seen everything else in there before, except for that side-scrolling Suda game. I'm personally like checked out of Xbox at this point. But you guys are still, you know, got gangrene for some inexplicable reason. So any thoughts?
There was not a lot here.
No, that's my thought too.
Forza Horizon 6 was the big thing, and then I had heard about it before I watched the showcase, and then when they get to that trailer, it's just literally an announcement and that it's set in Japan. That's about it. There was one game that like sort of, I don't know if we'd seen this somewhere else, but like that Rhythm Doctor game was
that felt like a show
interesting.
Game. Yeah.
But like that's about it. There was the Ninja Gaiden 4 thing. They kind of interesting in the sense that they, obviously we've seen a bunch of stuff from this game, but they were talking about the difficulty levels, and they mentioned that there's a hero mode, quote unquote, which is not what you think it is. It's actually an easier mode. It like auto blocks projectiles and stuff for you or something like that. So they had sort of like this training system to help you work on your parrying and things, I guess. I don't totally know, but I was just surprised that they would. I mean, it feels like a game that is in this era of Souls-likes and everything. Like it is very much sold on its difficulty, and I'm surprised that they are trying to make it more accessible. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody's interested in that, but just thought it was odd.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it all. Didn't seem like there was much there. Certainly not much I remember, so I don't think we're gonna give it a letter grade. Lastly, there was a Kojima. What was it like? State of the Strand or Beyond the Strand or some bullshit. I think it's Beyond the Strand. Celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the studio Kojima Productions. And I was like, I was going to watch it, and I saw it was 3 hours long, and it's like just a stroke fest celebrating this company. I'm like, no, thank you. So I went and checked out the highlights, and some footage from OD seems to be the thing people are talking about. What did you guys think of OD's footage?
I mean, it was very high quality, and it very PT-esque in terms of its presentation, and obviously leaning into the horror or thriller aspect of that. And he's creepy. There's some creepy moments in there with and really all they did was show her kind of like lighting candles. It's really
this felt like a visual presentation. I don't think there's any gameplay. I think it's all done in a cinematic engine. It's like sample gameplay and giving you a sense of what the game might look like.
Yeah, probably.
This is the Jordan Peele game, is that right?
I assume so, although I don't remember his name being mentioned in what I watched.
Yeah, I don't think I saw that either, but yeah, it seems like this is the one that he was working on. Yeah,
I did see GDLT made an appearance in the stream when I was scrubbing it, but I didn't watch it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, it looks kind of cool, but yeah, it's just sort of a teaser that establishes the tone, I guess, more than anything. So I'm interested, but don't have much else to say.
Okay, and I think there were some cast announcements for what's the other Metal Gear spiritual successor?
Fizz Int.
Fizzint, yeah. And I think the one thing I was reminded of with the OD footage was, do you remember the Hellblade 2 was like just looking at someone's face and the facial expression, and it just felt like that all over again, which is technically impressive but doesn't really mean too much at this point in time. So I still feel like OD is 3 years, possibly 4 years out would be my guess.
Yeah. Apparently, he's also doing some kind of like AR game with the people who did Pokemon Go.
Yeah, Niantic, right? And it's like I think it's Death Stranding in the real world kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know if it's officially a Death Stranding game, but I believe that that was how he described it, which, I guess I'd be curious to see what Kojima could do with that, but
I
not
mean, if
much to go
it's
on.
a game promoting like walking or physical activity, I think the gameplay loop of Death Stranding could like lend itself to doing that well and being a good world to base. Is there an official genre name for something like Pokemon Go? For a Go like?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's the one. Maybe that'll be my walking game. I highly doubt it. Okay. I think that's it for news. Anything else I missed?
I don't
There
think
was
so.
there was one game. I don't know if you guys saw it. I saw it on like a biggest announcements Tokyo Game Show. There was a game called Anata,
Yeah,
Ananta, and it basically just looks like Spider-Man, like complete ripoff with car driving. Do you guys see this?
Ananta?
Yeah.
No, I didn't hear about it. It looks like it's
So it's like, more Japanese looking, I would say, more
yeah,
anime kind of inspired. But there's
it's a free
like,
to play open world game.
yeah, if
That's
you
what
look at,
the vibe I'm getting.
there's some footage of like web swinging through a town, and even the like release animation is identical to the spider, like from what I remember the Spider-Man ones being. So it's just like literally like let's just make Spider-Man and set it in Tokyo or somewhere like that. Like, so
I mean, I'm seeing here Ananta draws criticism for alleged animation theft.
or that. I mean yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing. I mean, you can mimic Spider-Man without copying, and it would be basically the same. But
I mean, look, animators put keyframes of like humans and animals and just pose over top of it. Like
yeah,
animation gets a little weird with like
yeah,
what's
Yeah,
copying.
I mean, there's been other games like I saw another a mention of Prototype as well as inspiration for it. So it's not like Spider-Man's the only game that's done that,
yeah.
but it would be the obvious one.
Yeah. Anyways, that's just one game I noticed in one of the other things that I was like, whoa, this game is looking very Spider-Man like. Could be fun, but I didn't know it was online only kind of game. So that makes it less fun for me.
All right, let's get into what we played. Has anyone played anything super new, like Hades 2 or anything like that?
Well, I mean, were we going to talk Borderlands 4? Is that
Yeah,
one
I
of the?
guess we haven't talked about that yet. So go for it, Sean.
Well, I haven't played that much, maybe a couple hours, I would say. Playing it on PS5, and well, Frank's going to talk about the opening of the game, which isn't very strong, but also there were some technical issues. I was definitely seeing some stuttering and stuff like that. I looked online. A lot of people said to switch to local, so don't like have it open for people to join you online if you're not playing online, and that did help. I don't know if they've patched anything like that yet since, but so that was an issue. I actually tried a bit of local split screen, which worked okay. It's just I always forget how cramped that makes the screen feel, and it's kind of annoying. But it's playable if that's something you're interested in. But I was also not impressed with the intro. I thought like the music and the visual style of like the character introductions with like the names coming up and stuff just felt very weak. Like it felt like it should have more energy and like I don't know, it just was really lacking something.
It felt like 2006, a year after God of War came out. Like I'll get into my very specific thoughts, but this was giving me Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Gotham Knights. Like,
yeah, which is, you know,
they're going down the path of what ever like with 2K and the way Rocksteady and the WB games thing is going. It feels like is it Gearbox? Is it that they're already in that realm? Like,
yeah,
the heart and soul of that company is gone.
But I mean, that is what these games are. I haven't really played, like, I would like to play a bit more co-op because I feel like that is the more fun way to play it. But, you know, I got to the point where there's like some of the initial abilities you get are like a glide ability and there's a grappling hook. Those things I liked. I know that like the big problem with these games, and I will say like Borderlands played a bit of 2 and 3, but actually the one I put the most time into was Tiny Tina's Wonderland, which I know most people don't seem to be fans of, but I kind of liked the whole D&D thing with it. But the tons of loot, and you kind of got to sort through the guns to find the ones that you actually like, that feel good, because there's a lot that don't feel good. But I don't mind that. But yeah, it gets to be a bit monotonous sorting through all the loot and stuff. And in terms of story and all that, like it really hasn't grabbed me yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I got a copy on PC from our buddy Chin, and I fired it up, and like it's this stylistic, like cartoon intro. There's 2 intro videos. One is like a stylistic cartoon, which is kind of like what Infamous used to be, again, 20 years ago. And I thought like the look of that was very dated and not great. And then it went into another cinematic explaining the vaults and the timekeeper and all this stuff. And I'm like, this feels like it's 20 years old as well in terms of the writing and style. It was like shockingly bad. Like this, how long has this been in development? How old is this story element that they've been working on? And when was this made? And like just been on hold until they finished the game, because it felt very dated. And then I started playing the game and it was even worse. The intro area is so bad. You have to pick a character, and I mean, that was fine, but I don't really know why I'm picking anyone. It like really is so slow getting into the game. It's guiding you through these cavernous hallways, which are beg to be explored. And there's almost nothing to explore except for ammo boxes. And you're being guided by an NPC. And when I see a big space, like I go to explore it, and they have green lights on boxes, which to me is like, you should go open something with a green light on it. And there's lots of them. So I'm doing what the game is visually calling me to do. And the NPC is like 20 feet ahead of me talking to a door, and it's opening. And it doesn't even wait for you to meet up with them or do it. Like, it is this weird on rails intro that feels like 1995, not 2005. It is really bad. And it's like, these are obvious things that any level designer or playtester would bring up. Like, you're asking me, or even then, if you don't want the player to explore, don't put crates with green lights on that can be opened. Make it linear. Like, it's just very misguided level design, especially for a tutorial. You should have play tested a tutorial so many times. All that stuff's worked out. And then I finally got to the point where I was doing some combat and got the guns, and I got a gun, and I thought the effects were really cool. It's shooting these kind of like almost Roman candle fireworks. And I was like, wow, this is neat looking. But the bullets weren't really going where I was aiming, because they had they were like rotating and doing weird things, and they weren't hitting what I was aiming at. And I'm like, this game's a mess. I don't know what's going on right now. It is not landing for me at all. And I was just like, I'm out. I'm done. I got too many other good things to play right now. And I was just glad I didn't spend $120 on the PlayStation version, that I just tested it out for a cheaper price, because I was shocked. And I'm shocked at the reviews for it. Like a lot of 80s, and maybe it gets better. I don't know. But what I played was brutal.
Well, we gotta do some co-op, because that's what these games are all about. But
I don't know. That's if you can't nail your tutorial, that's a really bad sign. And
I agree. I mean, it felt to me like the tutorial was something they threw in at the end or something, but I don't see how that makes any sense. Like, that should be the first thing you're working on.
I mean, not the very first, but very early. You might do like a vertical slice with all the powers, and then work your way back to how you get them in the story. But at some point, there's tons of money riding on this game. You would have scrupulous time and resources dedicated to make sure the tutorial, even if you at some point, hey, we would like to do a demo to try to attract people to this game. If they demoed the intro to this game, they would sell no one on it.
Yeah, I don't know. It is weird, because like after that whole tutorial, you meet up with what's his name? Claptrap. And there was a part of me that was like, oh, maybe this was the beginning of the game originally, but I don't know. I don't think so.
I remember the first game starting pretty well. Like that's the thing. It was probably around 2008, maybe, when the first Borderlands came out, or was it? I don't remember, but it was on Xbox 360, so 2009, and an alternative song, like this flashy cutscene stuff that felt cutting edge at the time and interesting. And I just don't think they've updated the sensibilities. They could still work, but it does not feel like a 16 years later version of, now we have this technology, storytelling has changed. This is a modern version of Borderlands. It just feels very old and stale. And it was kind of disappointing. But I mean, maybe not. I've never really gotten into the games, so probably shouldn't be that disappointed. And I think people that love the series are generally enjoying it. So although there's lots of technical complaints, I know that, especially on PC, and there's been issues. I had to do some stuff just to get it to display in widescreen mode. There was bugs with that. And
wasn't there like a memory leak or something too? Like I think that was more on consoles. Like if you just do quick resume or something like that, it'll slowly keep getting more and more.
Oh yeah, I think there's lots of games with memory leaks. This one might be a big memory leak if you notice it that fast. But I feel like I've had memory leak issues on many games in quick resume. Okay, yeah, disappointing. Let us know in the comments if we're way off or what we're missing of what's great about Borderlands 4. I will mention I played from the library. So this is where I've dedicated all my gaming this week when I got my copy from the library. Mafia: The Old Country. I've never played a Mafia game.
I just got my copy from the library as well.
Okay. And
did not play it yet, though.
I was like, yeah, I'm very curious to try this game out. It's getting decent reviews, not mind-blowing, but good. And I think that's a very good way of describing the game. It knows what it is. It's very similar to Mind's Eye. So it's like a fake, there is an open world, but the story missions you do are all using the open world, but linear. If you veer too far off path, it kicks you out. Or so it's like story-based missions. There's 14 chapters, and it plays a lot like basically Last of Us Uncharted combat, including stealth and shooting, with kind of sensibilities of GTA and Red Dead, like horse riding and cars. And it's kind of a mix of those things. and it's pretty fun. Like I blew through the story. It was a very like short, manageable story with enough variety that I wasn't getting bored. I think it knows exactly. You do a lot of knife fights, and I think if there was 2 more knife fights, I probably would have been okay. I've had about enough of this. It knows how much content it has based on its budget, and I think it really does a good job of servicing its amount of content through a 10-hour story, and then it opens up like an open world area later that you can explore for collectibles. So I platinumed it earlier today.
Whoa.
Which was a bit of a journey. Not going to lie. I went and did all the collectibles last night, and I had one left. You have to buy the statue from a store. And I went to buy the statue, and I had seen in the Power Picks guide that it's bugged sometimes. You can't buy it. And it was the last thing I needed for all the trophies.
Boy.
Go to do it, and I cannot buy the statue. I just keep hitting the button, and it will not let me buy it. And it's basically... I'm like, I'm gonna snap. This is I'm scouring the internet.
But you platinumed it. You just
I have to admit, this made me realize I do have a problem because I was like, I need this trophy. Otherwise, I've wasted my time, which is a really sad thing to think. But thankfully, I looked it up on their developer issues site on 2K as well. And they basically said, yeah, I don't think we're fixing this. So try not to get in this state. But then my game developer brain turned on. And I think overnight in my sleep, I was having nightmares. And somewhere in there, I came to the realization, I'm going to go back and play chapter 2 because your money's persistent. And I'm going to go back to the first time you go to the store in chapter 2 and see if it lets me buy it there. And it did. And it all unlocked. And I got my trophies. I even did Reddit posts so that other people would know. I commented on Power Picks. I passed it along. I paid it forward.
Jeez.
And
a true gamer, like a true gamer.
An upvote or a thanks. You saved my ass on this thing. I thought I was going to I was going to have to kill someone to get this platinum trophy. But maybe I'll get the thanks I deserve one day. But I got it. And it felt like the people who made this game love Uncharted 1, my favorite game of all time. There was 2 set pieces that were almost identical. The storytelling is very similar. It's not mind-blowing. It's not amazing, but very playable, fun, and a pleasant surprise.
Sounds very similar to Mafia 1. From what I could tell, it's like Mafia 1 was just like that. And then Mafia 2 and 3, they kind of like leaned into the open world crazy bigness and kind of went away from what made Mafia 1 so good. And then they've come back to it now. So that's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, the game looks great. It definitely looks better than Mind's Eye and is technically better than Mind's Eye by leaps and bounds. So similar in a lot of ways, but you could tell there was more time and money in this game. And the polish and user experience and HUD elements, all very good. I think it deserves a little more attention than it's getting. And as I said, it's not going to blow your mind or anything, but very playable and scratched a very personal itch. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, this leads us into the topic of platinum trophies and a new amazing thing that has happened.
A new level of insanity.
Through PlayStation. Earlier this week, PlayStation announced physical rewards for trophies. This didn't get a lot of attention. It wasn't a huge deal.
I thought it was going to be announced at the State of Play, but it wasn't there.
And Sean, I didn't know about it. I think Sean or Huck, Sean sent it, right? On the text message?
Yes.
On the group chat. And for Ghosts of Tsushima, not Ghosts of Yotei, if you get the platinum trophy, you can order a physical pin that looks like the platinum trophy, a collectible pin. And if you had a certain gold trophy, a t-shirt. So these, you can only unlock these if you go to the website, log in with your PSN account, and have those trophies unlocked. and it will allow you to purchase these items. And I purchased them, pre-ordered them immediately, as soon as possible. And this might be my favorite new thing to happen in gaming in a long time. The fact that I can get exclusive physical merchandise. I don't care that much about the t-shirt, but if I can set up a nice like display shelf with all my platinum trophies physically, oh my God, that's a game changer. I am in. And the prices were more reasonable than I thought. 25 and 30. Prices for shit is insane.
$25 for a pin?
Yeah, and a beautiful collector's case. I mean, that's dude, that's nothing. Do you know how an amiibo is $30 now?
Yeah, that's like, out of my price range.
40, 45 for some of them. Like, prices for shit is insane. I thought I was going to look it up and it was going to be like $50 for each thing. And I'm like, okay. But when I saw the price, I'm like, I gotta pop. And I popped big time.
I just love, like, I'm picturing, some Sony people sitting in a boardroom. They're going through like profiles of like the PlayStation users that they've gotten the most money out of. And they're like, what would these people want? Oh, here's one, Dirty Frank. How could we get more money out of this guy? And they found it.
If anyone who listens to this show works for PlayStation, I know this probably falls under NDA. I would give anything to know where my money spent is in the like percentile of the world of PlayStation users. I would guess I am in the top 1% of money spenders
Guaranteed.
On PlayStation.
I think that's probably a safe bet.
I just got to say, this program, genius. You took the whales who already give you all their money, and you dangled this little carrot like, hey, if you're a real gamer, you can get this exclusive loot that you also have to pay us a crazy amount of money for. And they got you hook, line, and sinker because those people love it. A very reasonable amount. I couldn't believe this program. I mean, it's genius. It's genius. I can't believe Nintendo didn't think of it first.
Well, they don't have achievements or trophies, so that's their problem.
Oh, that's true.
But obviously they could just make these shirts and pins that anyone could buy, and they would probably make more money. So it's just such a beautiful gesture to their hardcore fans.
They're doing you a favor. They're doing you a favor.
They took away giving me something for free with PlayStation rewards to something I have to pay for to get
more excited about it.
To get stuff I don't need. And I'm very excited about it. So,
and just think of the potential e-bang down the road for this super collector what am I trying to say? Collector items. That's the word I was looking for.
I mean, they have to do Returnal before Soros. Oh my God. I want that. I want to be able to put my platinum Returnal pin right when you walk into my house. First thing you see. I think I got to put it in the foyer. All these trophies. Anyway, it was a beautiful day for trophy fans. And I'm very happy. And check out Mafia: The Old Country. All right, Huck, what do you got?
I played the newest one of the newest Game Pass games that came, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, which is, I don't know, are we calling these vampire survivor likes? I don't know what you're calling, but basically like one stick gameplay, auto shooting. This game has sort of the same. It's not quite the Vampire Survivor, sort of like 2D art style. It's isometric style, and you basically can walk up to rocks and dig them while you are exploring a small area. And it's not like Vampire Survivors where it's just like an unlimited area map. This one, you have a smaller confined space and you have to walk around it and gather resources within it. And waves of enemies are constantly coming at you and you're constantly leveling up, just like Vampire Survivor, getting experience points. But then once you reach a certain time limit, essentially, then you have to make it back to your dropship or whatever they call it, and then you kind of progress to the next level. So there are like waves of enemies and sort of like boss enemies that you come across, and I believe you have to find So you kind of have to explore to a point where you find, I think it's like some sort of transmitter or something, and then you kind of eventually make your way back to the ship. But it's pretty much just the same formula as Vampire Survivors. It's pretty enjoyable. You know, there's a whole like out of game upgrade loop as well, where you can get permanent upgrades to your guns and your health and all that stuff. So it's you unlock new characters, all that stuff. So it's just another take on the Vampire Survivors formula, and it's fun. So I don't know anything about Deep Rock Galactic. Never played Deep Rock Galactic, but I thought I'd give this a try since it was on Game Pass, and it was pretty fun.
Yeah, I liked what I played for sure. It was early access, so I didn't commit too much time. But it's an interesting idea of like the diggings, because there's speed of digging through stuff versus auto shooting and attacking. That's like the decision making in your brain of like how fast can I dig through this versus move through open areas. And it's got interesting risk reward mechanics for a game like this. And I think it's a worthy successor to Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, you could also like dig a path, which then forces the enemies to funnel through, which kind of lets you control the wave a little more, depending on, you know, if they start coming from behind you. But it definitely gives you more like defensive kind of strategies you can can explore. So it definitely adds a different mechanic that kind of adds to it, but still keeps the gameplay super simple and super easy to use. Like there's really nothing to it, right? You just kind of move around the screen. That's it.
Yeah, it really does a good job of adding a layer of meaningful play to something as simple as Vampire Survivors. So if you like Vampire Survivors, I think Galactic Rocks or Deep Rock Survivor is only Xbox and PC right now. I don't see a PSN version, so check it out for sure. I will just add, early access, remind me of this. I haven't played Hades 2 on Switch 2 yet, but I did test out the cross save feature, the cloud saves, and I loaded up the 1.0 version of Hades 2 on Steam, and it popped any achievements that I would have gotten playing early access stuff, and then it just uses your Steam save. So you go onto the Switch 2, you link your Steam account, and it finds that save, brings it over, syncs it, and then when you leave a run, you just have to say leave and sync, and it'll carry across both. And I assume the same thing will come to PlayStation at some point as well. So pretty cool feature. Weird that that's becoming the norm, but I love it. So
did you have to sign in with like a Supergiant account?
No, it just uses your Steam account. So everything, it's using Steam's free save servers, I would presume, to power everything else. So I'm kind of curious, like I don't think on PlayStation I'll be able to link to my Switch account and get the save, but I think as long as you link it back to a Steam version, it'll work, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting that they allow that.
Yeah,
because you're technically, like, Nintendo's pretty careful about third-party sites and third-party servers, so you're technically connecting to a third-party Steam server, Valve server, to get that. So that's interesting that they allow.
I wouldn't be surprised if they have their own kind of maybe an internal service on their own servers,
maybe
that converts it to some kind of
standard
JSON format or something that gets read in by the Switch 2. I don't know what the actual technical certification requirements are for that type of stuff and what they can get away with, but it worked, and I was pretty pleasantly surprised. All right, Sean, what else you got?
I got a few things. I'll just try and blow through them quick. So Donkey Kong Bonanza finished the game.
Ooh.
Now, did not 100% it. Even not 100%ing it, it's a long game. Like, it took me a while, and even when you kind of think it's almost over, it keeps going. So, that's not, I guess for some people, it's like, hey, more game, that's good. But like, it was really kind of dragging on a little bit for me. But for the most part, I really liked it. I know you, Frank, had issues with the last power, which
The
I
last
agree.
Bonanza you get the snake is
Yeah.
like really disappointing for it. It like killed my momentum in that game.
Yeah, which I agree it's not great, but you really only use it in that world, and I don't think I really used it ever after that.
Yeah, that's not a good sign. And not to mention, like for Nintendo, to the slowdown time mechanic, they don't explain well. The double jump is not responsive. Like it
Yeah,
does not feel like it's bad.
the jump is brutal. The slowdown time mechanic, I mean, I didn't really use it, but I had read some stuff afterwards that some people said it's like actually pretty OP. Like you can use it in boss fights and stuff, and I didn't even think to use it. But
They don't explain it well. They almost make it seem like we might have talked about this on the show before. I'm sorry, but they make it seem like you have to be. They call it a gaze, I think. So I got this sense that you had to be looking at it, and you were kind of shooting your gaze at a specific enemy to slow them down. But it just slows down time completely. It's just like a time slowdown mechanic. I just don't think they do a good job of explaining it. So
yeah, definitely. But yeah, all that being said, still probably my number one game of the year so far.
me too.
It's not perfect, but it's quite good. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say about that for now.
I got one other thing.
Okay,
If we're talking game of the year, I'm still playing Hollow Knight Silksong. I am at the final boss before like extra stuff at the end of the game, and I'm just going around getting as much stuff as I can before I face the final boss, because I did like 4 bosses in a row, and I'm like, I'm sick of doing bosses. But I am really coming around on Silksong, especially compared to Hollow Knight. I think it's better than Hollow Knight. It's like, it's a really big game. It's a really long game. But once you get all the power-ups, combat is very fluid. Like the claw line for like getting close to enemies, and some of the other power-ups are like really fun once you get good at them. And the bosses are great. Except, I said this to Graham, I texted him and he agreed with me. Bosses without minions are amazing. Bosses with minions are ass. And that's pretty much the way it goes. So any boss that has RNG minions, that it just, you get into weird situations that make it not fun. But all the other bosses, I'm really impressed by. So I'm kind of loving it. I can't stop playing it. Even though while I'm playing it, I'm aware of its flaws. It's got me hooked, and I will probably see it through to 100%, and it will be on my top 10 list. I can assure you that.
Okay. Huck, did you have anything else?
No, that's it for me.
Okay, I'll mention Baby Steps.
Ooh,
Play a little bit of this. Now, I mean, I obviously
very mixed reviews for this. Like this is all over the place.
And it's, so, you know, obviously I played co-op. I've played a little bit of Getting Over It. You know, I understand what those games are and what's kind of, you know, unique about them. But yeah, they're frustrating games. I would never put more than like 10 or 15 minutes into them, really. This game has obviously elements of that stuff, but it is kind of compelling to me. Like, so it is a literal walking simulator. You're like, you know, like, you know, the genre of walking simulator, like that's what you're doing in this, is you're just walking through this weird world, and you have to kind of, now I don't know how it works on keyboard and mouse, what the control scheme would be. I played it on Steam Deck with a controller, but it's, you kind of have to lean forward and then use the right and left trigger to kind of pick up and move your feet. And it's frustrating, but it's like you can kind of get into the rhythm of it and start making pretty good progress. And so like I was kind of enjoying that, and like obviously when you fall and stuff, it's kind of funny, but it's set up like some of these other kind of rage games where it's like you get to a point where it's like you've climbed up a bit and now there's like a waterfall or something you have to cross, and if you fall into that waterfall, you know, go straight down to the bottom, lose all your progress. And that's kind of what these games are. And so, you know, that's the thing that I don't like. Like, other than that, like it's frustrating, but you can kind of keep pushing yourself forward, finding ways around obstacles, and it's kind of open worldy. So it's like if you're not feeling one path, try a different path. But you know, those big falls are the thing that's obviously annoying, and that's intentional. That's what these games are. But the thing is, there's not really much reason to, like, I want to keep walking and exploring just to see what weird stuff is around the corner. But there's really nothing other than like cutscenes with strange characters that you meet. Like, there's no collectibles. There's nothing else to really interact with that I've seen. It's just like keep walking to see what you come across next. And I don't know, maybe there's more mechanics I haven't got to. But I guess like I was kind of on the fence with it. It was kind of a not super expensive game. The kids had been watching streamers playing it, so they were like, "Oh yeah, let's try this game." So I was like, "Okay, well, yeah, let's check it out." And then I was kind of like enjoying it more than I expected to, but I don't know if there's enough to keep me coming back to want to keep playing it. You know, like I think it's a short-ish game if you were to really push yourself. But
I think I saw 20 hours on the IGN review they played it for, which I thought
really?
seemed
Okay,
like a
maybe
lot.
it's longer than I thought. But yeah, obviously those falls where you lose all your progress. It's not like I think it has an autosave, and just if you quit the game, like basically exactly where you were is where you're going to resume. So it's not like you can save scum or something to try and get past and stuff like that. I don't think
when you get to the top of the waterfall, you upload it to the cloud, you turn off auto sync, and then you try it, and then you re-download your cloud save. Dude, you gotta get up to speed on these techniques. I was using that to exploit trophies on Mafia Old Country for sure, dude. And thank God I did. That's what saved me. I made a backup save with some stuff, and it allowed me to exploit, figure out my little issue. So you
I don't know,
gotta save scum, dude.
Okay, maybe there is something there. It is a little weird how the save files are laid out. I can't remember exactly how the menu works, but I remember being confused as to like which save file am I using, and like I don't know. I had read another review that said that you can't save scum either, but okay, maybe there's a way. I'll have to look into that, because that would actually make the game a little more enjoyable to me. Like I just
don't get me wrong, it's annoying as fuck to like quit the game, download a clouds. I do it for Silksong too, so I don't waste shards. But you know, it definitely helps, especially for Hollow Knight, because the only way to beat some of these bosses is to use your tools a lot. And I would like, if I used like 50% of my shards, I would just go back to another save and do the same thing, which kind of reveals a design flaw of the game to me. If, you know, this currency is so important and then you waste it and then you just have to farm for it forever, is that really fun?
Yeah.
Anywho, anything else, Sean?
Okay, two more quick things. Detective VR. I think I may have mentioned this at some point. I think I tried the demo previously. So it's kind of a Golden Idol like in VR. And the idea is you kind of scan through a crime scene, find all the clues, and then you take them back, and you're sort of in your lab, quote unquote. You've got your case board with like all the things that connect, and you've got a thing that you can use to scan for blood, fingerprints, and handwriting, I think. And so then you got to examine the items, and then you got to kind of figure out how they all connect on the case board. And then as you do that, you get clips of interviews with the suspects where they kind of talk about something that might reveal something. So, I mean, it seemed kind of simple in terms of finding clues. Like you just kind of take pictures of areas of the crime scene. I feel like you could just not even know what you're taking pictures of and just kind of like go over the whole area and capture everything. And, you know, you could really kind of cheat that way. It had potential. I liked the actual act of examining the objects manually and stuff like that. But it just didn't have like the Golden Idol kind of cleverness of the deduction puzzles and stuff. It wasn't quite at that level, but you know, the VR element is cool. And like, I guess when you're doing the case board and stuff, it's actually, mixed reality or augmented reality, where it's like you're in your living room with just the case board and things in front of you. So it's I don't know. I only did sort of the first case so far, but it's got potential. I'll probably keep checking it out. And then the last thing I'll mention, a game called OOO or OO. I don't know how you pronounce it. But this is from the guy that did Head, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
And it's another kind of interesting puzzle platformer that's fairly short. You kind of control this caterpillar that can detach a part of its body and it becomes a bomb, and then you can detonate the bomb. And as you progress, you get a longer body, so you get more bombs. And it's, like Head, it's like just really cool little mechanics. They don't overstay their welcome. It moves on and, introduces a new thing. The one thing I didn't like about it is it kind of, you progress through the map and you kind of get to the end of the map within the first hour. And then after that, it's really like hunting for hidden paths to progress. And it just feels like everything's hidden at this point. And it's like a little bit of a struggle. Like I'm hitting a lot of walls to figure out where to go next. So I don't know. Maybe it's on me. Maybe I'm missing some important mechanic that I don't know about yet, but I am enjoying it.
Nice. Yeah, it's listed as a Metroid Brainia.
Yeah, it's kind of open or like continuous levels that you kind of move around. The one thing that's annoying is you can't just view the map whenever you want. There's only certain rooms where you can view the map and warp to other points. So I kind of wish you could always see the map. But yeah, I think that it fits the bill.
Okay, nice. Anything else? Anyone played? No?
Nope.
All right, next week, I'm guessing we'll have some Ghosts of Yotai thoughts. Yotai comes out on Wednesday. Well, Thursday, Wednesday at midnight. So very soon. Oh boy, too many games. And Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 come out on the 2nd as well. Might be another game in the mix. Is there? That's a pretty busy week. Anyway, I'm fucked for end of year. I'm absolutely fucked. I guess we'll see what happens, but check us out, youtube.com/gamejunk. You may comment there. Discord links are there as well. Thank you for listening or watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.